Other day I had told you to put in your real name. Good morning, Krish. So, day before yesterday, we had completed our chapter which is economic development. Today I will be sending across the question and answers regarding the same chapter. And in case anyone has got any particular query related to this particular chapter which we had completed, that is economic development, please let me know. Good morning, Vidhi out here. So kindly go through the particular chapter and do let me know in case you want any sort of repetition or you haven't understood any one particular point, we can go through it. Good morning, Dhruvi, Harshel. Or else we will be shifting ourselves to chapter number 9, that is forest and wildlife resources. Has anyone got any query whatsoever? Good morning, Om. So no one has a query. Okay. We will be shifting on to something which is called as the forest and wildlife resources. A very small chapter, out of which the probabilities of you getting 2 to 3 marks question along with objective. So the spreading is very simple. I'll be having 1 mark question out of it. I can have a 2 mark question out of it, and I can have a 3 marks question. Now intentionally I'm making you leave about the 4 marks because here the all subjective parts which we are going to cover, they are not very elaborate, and for that reason I have said it is going to be a very small chapter. So forest and wildlife resource. The previous one we had learnt about resources and we are just elaborating. इसको थोड़ा सा expand कर रहे हैं resources को, हम 2 चीजों को और जोड़ रहे हैं. In the last chapter of geography, we had compiled certain data regarding the soil. Now, imagine I have got the soil, I have got the climatic condition pertaining to that area available. I will be seeing something which is called as the different types of plants growing out there. Good morning, Hriday, and very good morning to Vraj. And happy to you also, my dear, everyone. May God give the best year which you have seen in the coming time and forever. Obviously, it's not pertaining only one. Sari life ab aage achhi rahe. God bless you. forest and wildlife. So I had got the soil, I had the climatic condition, and depending upon the soil and the climatic condition, certain plants are going to grow. The plants will be now acting as a food source to various animals. So everything is coming from the base. The soil, the climatic condition. Climatic condition includes the temperature, the pressure, the air flow, the wind, the rainfall, humidity. Everything is going to get included into it, and this is going to help in growth of certain plants. Those plants which will be growing will be helping in the growth of certain specific animals. So our existence, that is me as a human. Humans have been very skeptical about those resources, thinking only about themselves. तो जो पूरा चैप्टर है वो इसी चीज पर डिपेंड करेगा कि ये फॉरेस्ट और वाइल्ड लाइफ रिसोर्सेज हमारे कहां कहां काम आ रहे हैं. और इसको समझने के लिए एक्चुअली देयर इज अ थ्योरी. हम इनमें से किसी भी चीज को अगर हटा देते हैं तो पूरा का पूरा एक इकोसिस्टम कोलैप्स कर जाएगा जिसका हम भी हिस्सा हैं. We are also part of an ecosystem, and in case those plants and wildlife are going to get destroyed, that ecosystem in which we are also sitting will be also getting disturbed. And for that reason, this whole chapter is going to let us know about how to protect the various plants and animals which are surrounding us. That is the ecosystem. So, the existence, progress and development of a man is dependent upon those resources which is given to him or her by the nature. We have been fulfilling all our needs like food, clothing, shelter. Since our inception, जब से हम धरती पर आए हैं, so couple of millions of years, those coexistence has been continuously going on. और हमारा जो प्रोग्रेस होता दिखाई दिया है या हो रहा है या होगा, that is, we are talking about even in the future, that will be solely dependent upon those natural resources which we are going to utilize. So, in that particular resources, the forests are considered very important resource. Because whatever my requirements are there, the requirement I've just talked about, food, water, shelter, clothing, these are basic requirements of every human needs is there, and this group of needs which are basic, they can be all justified by the forest itself. So general meaning अगर हम बात करें अब फॉरेस्ट की, तो फॉरेस्ट क्या चीज होती है? हिंदी के अंदर में हम उसको बोलते हैं जंगल. तो इट इज अक्यूमुलेशन, जहां जमा हो गया various types of trees, certain herbs, shrubs, vines, these are all being present out there, obviously along with the grass. So सबसे नीचे का लेयर हमारे पास में grass, उससे थोड़ा सा ऊपर herbs, उससे थोड़ा सा ऊपर shrubs. These are according to the height, and the tallest one are the trees. These all combine together, and we will be calling that place where all these things are available to be as a forest. Now, there is a special word which is mentioned out there, virgin vegetation. To understand what I'm trying to make you understand, because it's a one-mark question, define virgin vegetation. Vegetation, we have talked about, certain plants are growing, including herbs, shrubs, and the grass. Now, two possibilities are there. One possibility is that we humans are intervening in various works associated to it. Good morning, Chesh and Shankar. Again, you are late, guys. So, what is there? These particular vegetations which are growing, we that is humans, are required to justify their requirements. Requirements of water, fertilizer, protection. अगर ये हम सब कर रहे हैं तो this is not going to be a natural process actually which is taking place. But imagine there are certain places where no human intervention is required. उनकी कोई मदद चाहिए ही नहीं humans की. And those plants, they are thriving on their own, surviving on their own, absorbing whatever moisture is available, taking the nutrients from the soil, recycling it, helping recycling the nutrients. All this combination is going to be referred as virgin vegetation. So the point to understand is that those forests where human needs is not required for their survivability, we will be calling that particular forest as a virgin vegetation. Vegetation means plants. And where the human requirement is there for whatever needs of those plants which are growing, we will be calling it as a man-induced or man-made. For man-made, we have got those agriculture field. है ना, खेती है तो खेती में पानी भी टाइम से देना है, फर्टिलाइजर्स भी देना है, प्रोटेक्शन भी देना है. So we in case move out this whole bunch of plants which are growing, they are suddenly going to die, and that is for sure. But in case we talk about those forests or those vegetations which are growing on their own without any human intervention, that will be referred as virgin vegetation. So virgin vegetation is that vegetation, one mark, objective type, or it can be a single sentence answer which can be raised naturally without the help of a man, is known as virgin vegetation. Anyway, question is next to it, where exactly can we find these sort of virgin vegetations? So nowadays, that is present scenario, we are going to find these virgin vegetations being present in, let us say, the Himalayas or the deltaic region of Ganga, that is Sundarban, or certain very remote areas of northeast, or certain vegetation growing in the desert areas where no humans are actually getting involved in either of the activities which we have just mentioned. So the topic is, where do we find it and what is virgin vegetation? So two particular points get cleared. Once we come to know about vegetation, let us talk about something which is called as the classification. Now classification is basically grouping those vegetation which are being grown naturally based upon similarities and dissimilarities. उनको अलग अलग कर रहे हैं, छांट रहे हैं. और इसको हम ऑलरेडी क्लास 9th में छांट चुके. और क्लास 9th में जो हमने क्राइटेरिया लिया था छांटने का या अलग अलग करने का, वो था on the basis of climate. In case you remember, we have talked about is tropical evergreen forest. We have talked about tropical deciduous forest. We have talked about the pastures, that is the grasslands. We have talked about the tropical thorny forest. Or we have talked about is the coastal vegetation. So those are the criteria which is taking the roots from the climatic condition. We have already studied, so we are leaving it aside. But it's better you remember those things because you can know what exactly the difference on the climatic condition is all about. But now we will be, because we have moved a little higher in the standard, in class 10th, we will be learning them according to administration. Now administration means how they are going to get looked after. उनको कैसे ध्यान रखा जाना है. So now a question comes. Just now we were talking about that no human intervention is required. And now, good morning Yog, Yash, that we are going to talk about administration. See, just imagine 50,000 years back, 20,000 years back. We presume that the whole of the earth was the place which was covered by the forest. But as the human came on planet Earth, they started to utilize this particular resource. Slowly, steadily, this particular resource started diminishing. Kam hoti chali gayi. Where you are living at present, where I am standing at present, it is assumed that perhaps a few hundred years, a few thousand years back, this area was nothing but a forest. But what we have done? We have literally cut it off. So, we need to do certain administrative works over it. And according to that administration, we have divided the whole types of forests which are present into three major categories. What are those three major categories? We are talking about the reserve, talking about the protected, and we are talking about the unclassified forest. Now, understand what exactly this is, because this is again a 2-mark question. Define the types of forest according to administration. When we talk about reserved forest, as the name suggests, we have allocated a special area where the jungles or the forests are, and they have been reserved. But who has got the power to carry out all this function of giving out the order or see to it that orders are followed? Obviously, we are talking about something, an organization which is called as the government. So, those forests which are under the control of the government directly, those areas will be, or those forest areas would be called as the reserved forests. And because it is under the purview or jurisdiction of the government, they have laid down certain terms and conditions for these forests so that they can survive for a long. I have just mentioned about that there had been a lot of cutting and chopping of those trees as the population is exploding. So there is a restriction on lumbering. Now, lumbering is a word which is given in your textbook, which talks about cutting down the trees for the logs. So stems which are long, tall trees which are long. So their stem or the trunk is used, and that process is referred as lumbering. In collection of wood, you cannot cut down the trees, you cannot use the wood which is lying out there. And pasturing, that means you cannot actually venture in these types of forests along with your cattle who can go roam around and nibble the grass. घास खाने चले गए चरने के लिए, ये नहीं कर सकते. तो कुछ restrictions लगा रखी हैं इस तरह के फॉरेस्ट पर. And these types of forests are approximately 54% of the total forest area. So more than 50%, as far as India is concerned, these are under those headings which is called as the reserved forest. The second one which we talk about, that is the protected forest. Now these forests are looked after by the administration. This is the word we talk about. Administration means we will be having certain societies, those individuals who have been given the work to see that there is no destruction of the forest. That is administration basically. Local people are permitted to collect the wood and to graze their animals without causing any harm to the trees. अब ये दूसरा एक ब्लॉक निकल कर आया, दूसरे तरह का है. जंगल है लेकिन हिस्सा अलग कर दिया गया, जहां पर जो लोकल हैं, those people who are living inside the jungle or on the border, periphery of the jungle, they are allowed to go venture inside the jungle to collect certain broken twigs, branches. Now, कुछ ब्रांचेस हैं ऑटोमेटिकली गिरती रहती है, टूटती रहती है, सूख जाती हैं, उन सबको आप कलेक्ट कर सकते हो. You can go and do the grazing of the animals जाकर जानवरों को घुमाकर वापस ले आओ, वापस. The word is you have to take them back. Not supposed to remain at present out there. And this is exclusively, this right is given to those local peoples who are living within the jungle or adjoining areas, आसपास के इलाके. But there is a word which is mentioned, without causing any harm. Now what does it mean? You are going to actually utilize those limited resources which are given, wherein no damage to the trees should be done. That means we are trying to let the tree be present, let it survive, and whatever the waste it is generating, according to it, it is a waste. The branch it has broken, fallen down. The leaves it has fallen. You can collect those things, but you cannot actually cut a tree for the wood. This is the particular point to understand, that you are not supposed to cause any damage to the forest. And the last one comes out to be the unclassified. The unclassified are those forests which we haven't yet put into above mentioned two categories. ना हमने उनको अभी तक प्रोटेक्टेड फॉरेस्ट में डाला है, ना अभी तक हमने उसको रिजर्व फॉरेस्ट में डाला है. हरित, गुड मॉर्निंग. It is 8:25 when you are logging in, my dear. So those particular forests which have not yet been, good morning, Dafar, which have not yet been classified in either of the categories. हमने रखा ही नहीं, रख ही नहीं पाए. और क्यों नहीं रख पाए? क्योंकि ये वो हैं जिनके ऊपर अभी तक सर्वे नहीं हो पाया. These are very dense forests, very dense forests. So we haven't really gone inside these forests, and we haven't really calculated which type of trees are present, which are herbs, which are shrubs. We're talking about northeastern states forest. So those particular, or even this South Gujarat, the Dang area, so there are denser forests. We haven't yet actually calculated which type of forest is present out here, which type of trees are there, what are the utilization, and so on. And because we have not yet put them into any bracket, either reserved or protected one, so there is no restriction on tree felling or animal grazing. So what we have understood, the three types of forest is based upon the administration. The first one talks about the reserved forest, the second one talks about the protected forest, and the third one talks about unclassified. As far as the reserved forest is concerned, it is 50% plus, it is 54%, 29% is your protected forest, and approximately 11%, approximately 10.4, 10.6, this is the different books which say, is unclassified forest. Once we understand this particular thing, there is another classification which is given, and this is again a 2 to 3 marks question. That is the classification of forest according to ownership. Malkiyat. Who is the owner? Kaun malik hai? Or administration and management. So obviously it is understood the one who is the owner is the one who is responsible for all the two other activities, that is administration and management. So यहाँ जो मिल्कियत है फॉरेस्ट की, उनके बेसिस के ऊपर में हम फॉरेस्ट को डिवाइड कर रहे हैं. पहला निकल कर आता विच इज टॉक्ड अबाउट इज स्टेट फॉरेस्ट. Second one we'll be talking about is the communal forest. And lastly, we will be talking about something called as the private forest. we had learnt about something called as the reserved forest. And we have talked about that there is a government who is going to look after. And this is what we are talking about as far as the state forest is concerned. Central government, that is the one who is sitting in Delhi, or the state government, as far as Gujarat is concerned, sitting in Ahmedabad, Gandhinagar, they are in control of such forest. तो हमने सीधा का सीधा एलोकेशन दे दिया कि किसकी मालिकाना हक है किन जंगलों के ऊपर. There are certain under the control of the state forest and the other ones who are under the control of the central government or combined. Even that is also possible. Now, as we have already talked about, in the reserved forest, 50% plus is actually under the superview, that is reserved forest, and we call them as otherwise as the state forest also. So that particular point which is mentioned, that most of the forest of the country falls under this category. Most of it. And why we say most of it? Anything which is 50% plus is in majority, rest are in a lesser number. So this is in continuation of the very first topic which we have learned according to administration, the different types of forest. So it is a continuation of it. Reserved forest will be also, because of the ownership, will be called as the state forest. Hope so this point is clear, because there appears a bit of confusion in it. The second one which we are talking about communal forest. Lower class in civics, we had learnt about something which is called as the Panchayati Raj system. Does anyone remember about it? Does anyone remember about that Panchayati Raj system? So Shankar says yes. And in that we had learnt about something which is called as the local administration. Local administration in the form, lowest one is Gram Panchayat. Then we had the Taluka Panchayat, we had the Zilla Panchayat, we had the municipalities, we had municipal corporations. So when we talk about these, Stuti also remember, good. Communal forest, when we're talking about, the word communal has been taken from the word community. And when we talk about the word community, the technical answer says reserve and bioreserves are same or different. Dhruv, when we talk about the reserved forest, we are talking about those forests which are under the control of government. And when we talk about the bioreserve is a whole ecosystem getting controlled by the government, but it is for not only the protection of the plants which are growing, the animals which are present, but also about the human individuals who are living out there. Bioreserve is a association of whole ecosystem where humans who had been living at that particular jungle for centuries have their own identity, different languages, different customs. They are going to be present, and the adjoining area where the different plants and animals are going to be present, that two of them will be remain protected. And these bioreserves are allocated from the reserved forest as a demarcated line. एक लाइन खींच दी जाती है कि ये एक बायो रिजर्व बन गया. बायो देखो वर्ड से लिया गया, लाइफ. So life is not only about the plants and animals, but also the humans which have been living, who have got their own identity separate. See, we talk about Nicobar. तो निकोबार, अंडमान निकोबार के अंदर में से, that is basically under the purview of a bioreserve zone. Why we call it? क्योंकि वहाँ जो लोग रह रहे हैं, those Adivasis which have been living out there, they have got their own culture, their custom, their language, their traditions. We are trying to save it, and we are also trying to save the various plants and animals which are present. So bioreserve is a subtype of reserve forest under the control of the government. Did you get it, Dhruv? Drashti, example of a forest where it is being governed by the state and the central government. In lower sections, we had learnt about something which is called as the sanctuaries and national parks. So, when you talk about a sanctuary, you're talking about the national parks. We have given it a name. Sanctuary, matlab protection. National park, that is from the nations, purviews. तो यहां पर हमको दिखाई दे रहा है कि जंगलों को बचाया जंगल बचेंगे, उसमें मौजूद जानवर अपने आप बचेंगे, और किसी के ऊपर में स्टेट गवर्नमेंट का कंट्रोल आ जाता है, किसी के ऊपर में सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट का कंट्रोल आ जाता है. ऐसे ही बायो रिजर्व जोन हो गया जहां पर हमारे पास गवर्नमेंट कंट्रोल है, सो दैट दोज फॉरेस्ट, state forest is going to get protected. State forest, in case you want to see, just to travel towards the Vansda National Park, just nearby. Vansda में देख कर आओ, एक ऐसा park है which is being governed by the state and the central government both. Okay, so we were on something which was called as the communal forest. So local self-government. कौन सी? We had the Gram Panchayat, we had the municipalities, corporations, जिला पंचायत, तालुका पंचायत. उनके कुछ न कुछ इलाकों में जंगल होंगे, और उन इलाकों में, that is the land which is owned by the government but under the control of these small governments. लोकल गवर्नमेंट्स, उन जंगलों को, उन फॉरेस्ट को हम कम्युनल फॉरेस्ट बोलेंगे. Navsari is a district, and in this district panchayat there might be some adjoining forest. Adjoining forest का मतलब क्या हुआ? आसपास में कहीं जंगल है, लेकिन ये जंगल गवर्नमेंट लैंड के ऊपर है. That means no other person is owner except for the government. Then that particular forest will be called as a communal forest. Belongs to the whole community. But which community? We're talking about Navsari, we're talking about Vansda, we're talking about Tapi. So these are those special plots or areas where forests are available but under the jurisdiction of the local government. Now, ऐसा नहीं है कि local government कुछ अलग rules बना रही है. They are following whatever the rules is being given down the line from the state government, but to look after the forest, whether no one is cutting the trees illegally, no one is encroaching the land, ये सारी की सारी जिम्मेदारी लोकल सेल्फ गवर्नमेंट को दे दी जाती है. उनकी जिम्मेदारी होती है कि ये जो फॉरेस्ट है, सपोज 20 हेक्टेयर्स का फॉरेस्ट है, तो 20 हेक्टेयर्स ही रहे, इसके अंदर में कुछ चेंजेस नहीं आ सकें. कोई उसका एरिया कब्जा नहीं कर ले, कोई पेड़ों को नहीं काट ले, कोई खराब नहीं करे, कोई आग नहीं लगा दे, समथिंग लाइक दिस. सो ऑल दोज will be under the control of the communal forest, the local self-governments. The third one, you're talking about the private forest. Now, as the name suggests, individual, me or my family, they are the owner of that land on which a forest is available. We will be calling it as a private forest. So such a forest is owned by individuals. पुराने समय के राजा, महाराजा, नवाब, उनकी कुछ अभी भी प्रॉपर्टी बची है जिनमें कभी जंगल हुआ करते थे, तो वो जंगल वाला इलाका जो उनकी प्रॉपर्टी में आ गया, ये या बड़े बिजनेसमैन, उन्होंने कुछ लैंड ले रखा, उसमें you have got lots and lots of trees which are growing out there, herbs, shrubs and all those. ये इलाकों को which is under the control of a single person or a family or group of individuals, we will be calling it as a private forest. Such forests are found where? This is one of those repeated questions which have been asked. So certain areas are there where we find more of them. It is not so that they are found only there. More, ज़्यादातर. We find more in Odisha, Meghalaya, northeast. We're talking about Punjab, Himachal Pradesh. Here we find certain areas to be under the purview or jurisdiction of the particular area, but commanded by individuals. Some of these forests are in haphazard conditions, and some of them are totally barren. Haphazard means some is here, some is there. Total area is not blocked under the trees, and certain have been totally turned barren. इनके अंदर में से पेड़ों को पूरा काट दिया गया, लैंड्स निकाल ली गई, might have been sold and resold or just left as it is without any other utilization. तो इन सब प्राइवेट जितने फॉरेस्ट हैं उनमें ज्यादातर की हालत अच्छी नहीं है. We actually go and imagine that we are in the forest, but actually you find on a piece of land. हालत खराब है, पॉकेट्स बचे रह गए हैं थोड़े थोड़े से, कुछ जंगल यहाँ, कुछ यहाँ, बीच का इलाका पूरा बैरन जिसपे कुछ नहीं उग रहा है. इट्स ऑल डेवस्टेटेड. ये कंडीशन हमको प्राइवेट फॉरेस्ट की देखने को मिलती है. तो ये निकल कर आया मेरे पास में दूसरी क्लासिफिकेशन. पहली क्लासिफिकेशन अकॉर्डिंग टू एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, और दूसरी क्लासिफिकेशन के अंदर बेस्ड अपॉन द ओनरशिप, इट्स एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, द मैनेजमेंट. तो हमने दो पार्ट के अंदर में कर लिया. तो इस स्टेज तक पहुंचते पहुंचते अप टिल नाउ you have actually come to know about the classification of forest based upon three parameters, right? The first parameter which we have done in class 9th according to the climatic conditions prevailing, The second one we have completed today itself according to the administration, and the third one is according to the ownership. So the whole lots of the jungles and the forests which are present, we have divided into three broad categories through which we can classify them. Hope so it is clear. Any doubt, do let me know. Should we continue? A quick recap. I have talked about what is the forest, where we talked about something which is called as virgin vegetation, those plants or the jungle which is growing on its own without human intervention. That is called as virgin vegetation. Now, these vegetations are exclusively found in certain pockets like Himalayas or Sundarbans or the remote areas or the western part of Thar desert. We moved on to something which is called as the classification of the forest. First we have learnt about is the classification of the forest based upon the climatic condition. That was something which you had already learned in class 9. Tropical monsoon, tropical deciduous, grasslands, coastal areas. So those were we have already completed. What we have learned this day is the types of forest according to administration: reserved, protected and unclassified. These were certain three subheadings within it. Reserved, under the control of the government; protected, where it is in the administration point of view. But what we see is two major differences among the first and second, reserved and protected. In reserved, no human activity is allowed. But in protected one, human activities to certain extent is allowed, that it should not disturb the jungle. And unclassified are those forests which have not been still yet decided. अभी तक हम डिसाइड ही नहीं कर पाए उनको कि ये रिजर्व में जाएंगे कि प्रोटेक्टेड में जाएंगे, और क्योंकि अभी तक कुछ डिसाइड नहीं हुआ तो एक ह्यूमंस को फ्री हैंड दिया गया है, आपको पेड़ काटना है काट लो, आपको घास चरवानी है घास ले जाओ, whatever you do. The second classification which we have talked about was the classification of the forest according to the ownership, administration and management. And in this we have talked about something which is called as the state forest. So it is something like reserved forest only. It is a continuation. Administration किसके हाथ में है? State governments की या central government के हाथ में है. और इंडिया के अंदर में ज्यादातर फॉरेस्ट इसी तरह के स्टेट फॉरेस्ट में काउंट होते हैं. 54.9% इज दैट पर्टिकुलर फिगर. दूसरा कम्युनल फॉरेस्ट हमने देखा जहां पर लोकल सेल्फ गवर्नमेंट्स इन फॉरेस्ट को कंट्रोल कर रही हैं. लोकल सेल्फ गवर्नमेंट कौन सी? ग्राम पंचायत. तो ग्राम पंचायत के पास कुछ ऐसा जंगल है जो उनके एरिया में आता है उसकी देखभाल, उसको बचाने की सारी जिम्मेदारी ग्राम पंचायत पर, ऐसे जिला पंचायत के अंदर में आएगी, ऐसे म्यूनिसिपैलिटीज में आएगी, म्यूनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशंस पे आएगी, दीज आर लोकल सेल्फ गवर्नमेंट्स। और तीसरा निकल कर आया मेरे पास प्राइवेट फॉरेस्ट, wherein the ownership is in the hands of individuals. Now, individual means me alone or my whole family. So they have got the ownership of the land on which these forests are available. Certain pockets where we find them more often is in Odisha, we see it in Punjab, we see in Himachal, the northeast, Manipur, Meghalaya, वहां पर काफी देखने को मिलती है। कंडीशन सबसे ज्यादा खराब जो 3 फॉरेस्ट अभी हमने पढ़े एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से, ओनरशिप के हिसाब से, दैट इज द स्टेट, कम्युनल एंड प्राइवेट। तो सबसे बुरी हालत प्राइवेट की है, जहां पर बहुत सारे इलाके ऐसे हैं विच इज टर्न्ड बैरन, होल फॉरेस्ट हैज बीन कट डाउन, और देयर आर लेफ्ट इन सर्टन पॉकेट्स। पहले 10 हेक्टेयर्स 20 हेक्टेयर्स सब पे जंगल था, अभी 2 हेक्टेयर एक जगह बचा रह गया, 1.5 हेक्टेयर एक जगह रह गया, 3 हेक्टेयर एक जगह रह गया, बाकी बीच का सारा जंगल है। दिस सॉर्ट ऑफ थिंग हैज हैपेंड। क्लियर? In your next lecture, we will be continuing with the topic forward, that is deforestation and onward. I'll be keeping it this much for today and hope to see you around soon. Till then, stay at home, stay safe. Any queries, do let me know. We will be in touch. I'll be sending the question and answers PDF, Shankar, today itself. Bye, beta.